some remarks because I have good Wi-Fi here, and it's raining now, so I really can't do much else. I'm stuck in my car, immobile, and what the heck? Let's do a little live stream, and I can't really do it with portrait mode because I keep getting denied. So this is the next best thing for. I'm next to a police station. Let's see. It's 7:30. It's possible that the cops are changing shifts, and that's why I just heard a siren go off in their parking lots. But I just wanted to make some comments about how I think that the Fourth Amendment really isn't exactly a priority to rely on. I mean, it's what I have to rely on, but a lot of people can use the okay, in order, use the, you have the right to remain silent. Yeah, and that's the first right, is the right to remain silent, using your First Amendment right. That actually is like communication, the fundamentals of getting the process started with the whole getting the ID thing. It requires communication, because if the other person doesn't speak English, then it's not so easy to get that ID. It's like the first question is, do you speak English? All right, there has to be a connection there, and that's through language, which it's fundamental First Amendment right activity there, which that's what the government needs everybody to be on the same level with, is communication, the language. Can we understand each other? And that's in the entire country too. We don't want outside groups speaking another language, starting their own language, like what the Mormons tried back in the 1840s, trying to start their own language, start their own vocabulary, and we're making books on it. But that was somehow stopped by the government, because the government wants everybody on the same plane. That's why the Native Americans were put in, and were forced into special schools, off the tribe, into special schools. You got to get everybody on board with the same language. English was just convenient at the time, so we can exercise the First Amendment rights. I mean, imagine how many people were actually speaking English during the time. What percentage of people were speaking English during the time of when the Constitution was being written? All right, what percentage? They wrote it in English because they were fighting against the British, and the best way to let British know how you feel about them is to speak their language. But it could have been, it could have maybe gone back and forth with any language, and that would have maybe influenced how the Constitution was written too, because different words have different meanings in other languages. There's blind justice. That's a familiar name. Yeah, I'm trying to put my court case, my trial, out on the internet. It's taken me a long time. Blind Justice was able to just record his. Blind Justice recorded his trial. I forget how that turned out. I think he probably won, right? But I can't just record. In fact, I'm facing a contempt of court issue with Judge Ousley's court. Once the state Supreme Court kicks back my case back to from the state Supreme Court back to the city court, when they kick it back, I'll be back in Judge Ousley's good graces, so he can hold me in contempt, hold a trial in contempt against me over my voice recorder, which he has in the evidence locker right now. But yeah, I've got all the AI voices, and only for the first. I've never been allowed to record. Oh, I thought you recorded your trial. Then you must have bought the the audio transcripts. All right. Yeah, I have written transcripts, which I had to rewrite. So the first 50 pages I want to put up. It's XT Press is a familiar name. I must be coming on at a prime time hour. I really don't have much to say here. I just wanted to break it down how I feel the Fourth Amendment isn't exactly the first step towards declining to give your ID, but I'm making audio of the trial, my trial transcripts. The first recorder data will become corrupt. Yeah, it is corrupted actually. It's I'd be interested to see how they deal with that. I want to see the evidence. I got to get a discovery for my contempt of court when the state Supreme Court kicks back my case to the city court. The Third Circuit Court of Appeals kicked it back, but then I kicked it into the state Supreme Court and give them about 6 months, 250 days, just like the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. And then I'll give them an opportunity to kick it back. But I'm making voice recordings. I've been in like 10 different libraries, all different backgrounds, with just recording voices. I couldn't actually say anything because I haven't been able to find a room to talk, to speak my lines in my trial. It's so difficult. It's maybe 1 out of 20 libraries I can actually find a decent room where I could speak, like do a what do they call them? A Zoom meeting. I usually go up to the librarian and say, hey, I want to do a Zoom meeting, and they usually know in that way. I've got a case before North Carolina Supreme Court. Oh, you've appealed something? Okay, so you went through your Court of Appeals, and you weren't satisfied with their decision, so you bump it up to the state Supreme Court. There's a process there. You can go above a city judge's head, even though they argue that you can't. They say the whole apple stays in the city court because the city court can't be touched. They have these mini God complexes in the city courts, and the prosecutors. I mean, just listen to Alan Bragg. He's so brazen as to say the federal government cannot interfere in the state's due process. All right, and he's not the first prosecutor to be arguing that the whole apple falls in their courts, their small courts. Often for me, it's the city courts. For Trump, it's maybe the state courts, because Alan Bragg is the state prosecutor. So yeah, there's a whole process to that, and they take their time. So I have been thinking since Germantown, when I had my cop run-ins. And it's whenever I get stressed like that, they force me to think. I have to sit and wonder how this could have gone differently. I ponder too much. I overthink things, and that's the habits of an unsuccessful person. Usually, overthinking. You just got to do. But I overthink because I spend a lot of time by myself, and because it's raining, I just can't just go for a walk. And I've been thinking, it's been a few days, and I was just thinking that moment of silence that Officer Killebrew had after I asked him, what protects you, Officer Killebrew, from having to show me your ID? And there was a long pause, and I'm like, he was probably thinking, he was probably reaching for his gun and being like, here's my protection, and I got protection behind your car, and protection's also, a third protection's rolling up as we speak. And I think there was also a drive-by too, somebody driving by. I think there were 4 cops, but 3 showed up, 1 briefly, very briefly, which I recorded, but that's on members only. So if the cops want to see that video, they can pay for it. And he paused, and it's like, that makes me think, I wonder, I have the 4th Amendment I could fall back on. I can't just openly display a gun and say, hey, this is my protection against having to show my ID. But first, actually, before even the 2nd Amendment, the 4th Amendment, you have the 1st Amendment, which is the right to be silent. I'm gonna turn this light off. Whenever people roll in, I'm a little concerned about that. This is a dangerous area. In fact, let me point out how bad this area is. Just as an example, in this library parking lot, we have 1 security camera, lights flashing. No, 2 security cameras, lights flashing. There was also a security guard walking around today at the library. He comes in late because, of course, they're more critical times are more in the afternoon for protection at the library. They have fewer problems in the morning, so they've scheduled the security to show up in the afternoon. Yeah, I got the blue light special. Each one of these blue flashing lights has 2 cameras. So I got at least 2 cameras pointed at me, protecting the parking lot. I'm very protected here. But not much people could do out in the rain anyway. But yeah, okay, this person stopped and pulled up, turned off all their lights. They're probably using the Wi-Fi too, taking advantage. Scream gun. But yeah, you can decline. You can use your First Amendment to either stay silent when they ask for your ID, because you're not obligated to as a defendant, future potential defendants. In fact, you can do a discovery. You can do a pre-discovery even before the charges are filed. I only heard about this once. I forget the exact example. A pre-discovery, then the actual discovery, and then probably you want to submit a post-discovery too, like right before trial or something, because the prosecutors will withhold evidence from you until the last minute. Ask Cloyd Benjamin about that. But yeah, you have several lines. You have some lines of defense before the 4th Amendment. Okay. To decline showing your ID. I mean, there's a whole lot of focus on Terry v. Ohio, but do they talk about how you have the right to be silent? All right, your First Amendment kicks in. Your Second Amendment kicks in. Maybe we could try to tweak the 3rd Amendment in some way. This is my house. You're not allowed inside it. Okay? Not soldiering, and you are acting like a soldier. So I'm not allowing any soldiers to invade my house. And then the 4th Amendment. And then the 5th Amendment, right not to incriminate myself. And then all the other amendments after that. The protections, the different layers of protection, they seem specific for specific purposes, but they're kind of also a layered system as well. A layered system of protections against the government. You don't just talk about the 4th Amendment when you decline to surrender your ID. All right, there's layers, all right, to go through, and you want to go through them. You want to have as much of a protection as possible there. You don't just pick and choose because the arguments that prosecutors make, and let me just emphasize, prosecutors are your enemy. All right, judges, well, city judges are scum. Higher level judges have a little bit more balance. They're a little bit more balanced, but city judges are totally unbalanced. Okay, there was a wind gust. Well, I guess since they're just gonna sit there, I think I've spent a few minutes. What light do I want? Green. I'll just take the multi-light. Okay. So there's layers, and that's all the whole point I'm bringing up here. Somebody's from West Virginia. I think Blind Justice. Well, you might have been talking, but I've been on a rant. This is why I go on here, is to rant. I'm not here exactly to read comments, all the comments, unless if it's really, really slow. And there's only 87 people, so it's not that fast, I guess. Maybe I just overlooked it. Green? I don't use green a whole lot. Oh, he's taking off now. Maybe he's seen my lights. He's thinking this guy's crazy, flashing all these weird lights. Now he's going to run and go over to the police station and complain about me. In the rain, I could still get the cops showing up. I've had it. Cops have. It does. I'm not exactly. The rain doesn't stop the cops from knocking on my car. All right. I've had it happen in Washington, where cops have knocked on my window in the rain. I had 3 umbrellas because this is Washington, and I stood out there with my umbrella while they were getting rained on, and discussing a fair ID exchange. They flip and say, well, I can use the amendments for myself. Okay, he said I need your ID, haven't committed a crime. Plead the 5th? Okay. Yeah, you can plead the 5th, you can decline to speak. You can use your First Amendment to tell them that I decline. Because in a lot of ways, as far as I understand, in Texas, the law now, or the law has been, I've heard, I think the source is Texas, that there's something about actually having to consciously tell the cop that you're enforcing your civil rights. Right, you're consciously telling. You have to clearly tell the cops and articulate to the cops that you know your civil rights and that you're declining to give your ID. So that's something that the courts are arguing now in this day and age, where people have more knowledge and can refer to the internet. We're maybe held to a higher standard ourselves to know our rights, because we have easier access to all this great information. Whereas back in the old days, people didn't communicate as much as there wasn't as much back and forth communication. Man, this is picking up. Keep them standing in the rain. Yeah, that's some rain. It wasn't raining like this. It wasn't raining like this when the cops knocked on my door. This might be a little more than they want to deal with. They'll just sit in their car and watch me. I'm kind of waiting for my... Oh geez. I gotta close the window. Man, the wind is blowing on one side a lot. Oh, that's not the pocket. I just now feel it. It's all one-sided. So the other side's getting no rain. Oh my God, everything is pretty wet now. Just on this one side. Well, it rained on my winter jacket at least. My winter jacket can handle that. So there's a storm warning, and I'm in North Memphis, Tennessee. There's a big storm in North Memphis, Tennessee going on right now. There's there's a watch for tornadoes, but you can't have a tornado in this much rain. The rain would slow it down, right? So there's a warning. Oh, blind justice is still on. Let's see here. Okay. Well, dealing with that case, security guard identify. Oh, that's on there. That's the blind justice as the airport. Okay. All right. I'm just gonna sit back a minute. Okay. Let's see if this. Oh, it's gonna work because it has worked already. Yeah, this is a live rainstorm report. All right, audio is gonna go through some changes here. All right, got my road. All right. All right, we'll see if this turns on. Testing. 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 Can anybody hear me? I think it's working. I'm gonna sit back. Tell me if you can. Can I be heard on this? Yeah, I'm gonna get drowned in this amount of rain. So I'm just gonna turn around and take a look at. Yeah, I got rained on pretty good here. I should have checked this. If I wasn't doing a live stream, I would have paid closer attention. But I allow myself to get distracted too much. Okay, so the sleeping bag and the winter jacket got hit. All right. Okay. All right. So this is now a weather report. I wish I could do a lightning look here. It was lightninging a little bit. Okay, I'll do that. I was thinking about doing something like this to make it look like lightning. That might kind of have a little. Oh, there. I have. That's close too. I'm kind of aiding the effects by simply doing the. So I want to be. I was thinking about doing a short where I speak like a prosecutor, and I wanted to be like in this rainstorm right now. Pretend I'm a prosecutor, and I'll say, if I'm lying, may God strike me down with lightning! Right? If I'm lying, may God strike me down with lightning. And I do that. I just keep repeating that until I actually get real lightning. But maybe this effect can work too. It's just like Prosecutor Benjamin. I'd love to hear him do that. Just have that little phrase. I think he would actually get hit if he challenged God to strike him down with lightning. Yeah, nothing I'm using is waterproof. But I'll tell you what's somewhat waterproof is this. Check out this media mod. I am set up for cops. I am set up I saw West Memphis is on the other Memphis is on the other side of the river. But this right here, I could be, hello, officer. Boom. All right, now whose light is shining on their face? It's a pretty decent light. So I got this as part of my tools now. The media mod, the GoPro 9 super wide. I actually had this on narrow when I recorded the cops in Germantown. Made a mistake there. Got super wide, just got the light mod, and this can handle the rain. I followed the pro tip and plugged the cord into the back here. So if I wanted to actually have this in water, it would be able to handle pretty oh, there is a strobe light. That's true. Hello, officer. Oh man, that's blinding. That is blinding. See, that's the thing. I don't want to point this directly in their face. That's the thing. I've said this on my other channel, but I have 2 light mods, so I could do 2 for a lot of lights. But I put this on a magnet to support my GoPro 360, because my GoPro 360 cannot handle low lights. It's like a GoPro 8 level for light. So these side by side on the roof of my car at nighttime. When the Germantown, the last incident was lighted up enough where it wasn't a big issue, but I've had issues where cops will approach my car in pitch black night and I never see their face. And I want to be able to see their face, so I could put the 360, the max, on the roof and it's still not be able to see anything. I gotta improve the light. And it'll accentuate their lighting too. I've had cops pull up to me without turning on their lights at all. They'll just kind of roll up, just do a little quick check with the lights off. So, because some will come approaching from the front, but I don't think that's good. I don't think that's good practice. I think you want to roll up from the behinds every time. Unless if I'm backed into a building and you really cannot pull up behind me. I think it's in the training that cops need to pull up. Now it's getting foggy and this is going to be a challenge to drive back to Walmart. I can't really stay here tonight. So let's see. I served in the military. No, there's trolls that want to dispute that I was in the military. Travels in his car to save cash. Yep, yeah. And then blow it on camera equipment just to get myself prepared for other cop interactions. But I hate to think like that. But that's kind of half part of the reason why I buy these certain cameras. This GoPro 9 is set up also for exploration too. If there's a abandoned building and I want to quickly check it out, I just grab and I can get into those deep dark areas pretty quickly, and light them up good. This light doesn't have that bright spots, that bright center. I was using this which I have a DJI whatever pocket on top. I never used it. It's just a little thought project. But this has such a bright center, it really ruins shots. This center, it ruins too many. It's hard to see the very center, and I always have to be so careful about how I shine the light and then point the camera. Whereas with this, I don't have to be so cautious, because the center is not a bright spot. Unless if I jack it up to the highest point, then there's a center glare. You could call it a glare. But it's evened out more, so it's better for even. So the 9 is pretty decent at night now with the light mod. The 11 is the better at nighttime, but it's not that big of a deal, because I've dedicated the 11 to my driving videos anyway, playing around. How long did I serve in the Army? Who said I was in the Army? MP? I was a SF. They call it Security Forces in the Air Force. So I was in a little bit, let's say, a different standard of military. And I got convinced to do the Air Force over the other branches, even though I wanted to be kind of more physically challenged in the Marines or the Army. I wanted to be more physically challenged, but then it scared me, the low standards of let's say test scores that are allowed in the other branches. That scared me a little bit, because I make a lot of mistakes. So I want to work with people who are a little bit smarter than me. And I think there's a higher level of well, there has to be. There's a higher standard of intelligence. You know, I'm noticing that it seems like kind of standard that these police cars in North Memphis, probably all throughout Memphis, have to drive with blue lights on the sides of their light bars. That's I'm seeing that quite a bit. They're not flashing; they're just a solid blue as they're driving up and down the streets. And let me also just make it clear too that they have, I believe they have encrypted their whole radio system. I've listened to this for a little bit, all right, and I've only picked up like a private security company, and that's been about it. There's no police radio in the city at all, so that's kind of that's unfortunate, because I believe there's probably a lot going on, and it's all encrypted. And whatever arguments they have, yeah, this is going.
Strip mall, nothing showing. Battalion 41 will have each meets West Command.
Battalion 41 speaking with command.
That's fire. It's kind of rare though. It's Friday nights. You know, since it's raining, it's probably not as busy on a probably not as busy on the police scanner. If they're on their police chatter, I could hear. Well, this is a different incident. Department of Corrections. I could hear police chatter from a police car that parked up close to me, and I turn on my radio and I hear nothing. I could hear them talking, but I couldn't hear anything. I couldn't coordinate that. I couldn't do close call. I couldn't get onto their radio. I wonder if there's a problem on my end. I still haven't really fully checked. Thank you, TG, for the $10. I appreciate that. A new seat? A new seat? Now I just got I paid like $40 for a carpet, a fully wool carpet, for my seat here, because the others are, my skin is sensitive to the carpets I had. I think my skin's as sensitive to the rubber. So I got a fully wool carpet, and now I'm not getting reactions as much. So I'm kind of sensitive. Backup fire ground. And it's stuck on there. I'm in Shelby County, and we're stuck on backup fire ground. But yeah, I'm going through everything in Shelbyville. The thing is, I went a little crazy with the energy. There's the energy. Yeah, I did. See, that's the thing. I was going nuts with hitting the avoid button, and I wonder if I may have accidentally blocked out the police. I mean, I'm not sure. That's the thing. I have to look back on
Command truck 41 in service.
back on what I blocked. On the link to Owsley being sworn in.
Go ahead and terminate command. So.
Yeah, I saw the news report of Owsley being sworn in. He was sworn in by Steamy. Once again, I'm stuck on backup fire grounds, so I'll avoid that. But I was successful in avoiding Entergy, and I was going kind of crazy with it. I guess I can fully block the whole top row of stuff, and I fully blocked all of Entergy, but I was kind of going crazy. I wonder if, as I did that, I might have accidentally blocked the police too on top of that. I'm a little concerned. See, Mikey's, oh wait, they did it something in Spokane. Oh, really? They cut the right corner so nobody's turn off phone. Oh, I don't, okay, that doesn't seem like it's a radio. What? Okay, so now I'm stuck on this channel. Oh wait, it got out. They were talking, I guess. The volume's at 10, so it's pretty good. So we run through these. There's a lot of Mississippi wireless. Shelby is a county.
Dispatch 1041 is responding from Exeter and Farmington.
1041 responding 1969.
Yeah, I can get the fire, but I can't get police because I think they blocked it out. Public safety. There's choices. And I mean, I did have that cop in Germantown tell me that they did encrypt, but I mean, it's kind of divided too, because one cop says that they encrypt, the other cop says they don't encrypt nothing, they don't change nothing. So it's called something like radio reference. I have to go on to radio reference and .com and updates and see if there's
service. Engine 93 is going to respond to 7710 Wolf River Circle for engine 91. Show us the route.
For engine 91.
In service, command terminated 2001. Engine 93 responding. Engine 91 disregard, back in service 2001. Engine 91.
91 check in service.
Yeah, I've stopped in some cities that encrypt. I've stopped in other cities that don't encrypt. It's kind of hard to tell. I have to find out by just looking. I didn't listen to the Jackson, Mississippi radios, so actually I can't speak for them. I decided to check out Memphis because I got a little concerned about Memphis because of all the news reports coming out that don't make it look so good. And them encrypting doesn't give me much confidence in what's happening in the city. The police are very secretive. The crime is crazy. Oh, so Sapton, you're listening to the police scanner out of Memphis. Okay, I think maybe I screwed up some way. All right, this is manually operated, so I have to actually be on top. I was told that I'm gonna turn this off then. They may have updated in the past year, and I've just been so lazy. I haven't really tried the updates. So that's something that I need to do that I've been lazy about. The police may actually then work if you're here, because if it's going to be encrypted, it should be encrypted through the internet too. And if you can hear Memphis police, then they're more likely to keep their systems working. So all right, I guess that's all I had to say. I didn't really have much else to say. It's raining, it's getting foggy. I gotta give my car time to defog now and carry on. So I'm gonna stop this. Thanks for visiting, and have a good night.